Hi there, my name is Daniel Belville, and in the previous video we took a look at business design as a value stream and some of the use cases around it. And in today's video we're going to be taking a look at portfolio management as a value stream stage, as well as the use cases that support it. So taking a look at the use cases here, we have application portfolio management as our first use case. And what this is where we really understand the landscape of our applications, specifically around how they support the capabilities within our organization. So on the left-hand side, you can see here we have an application overview. And this is where, similar to our capability map, we have applications organized by function instead. So here we've got the categories of our applications that are financial, right? For instance, B payments. And we have data on these elements, right? Connections to other components like the capabilities and the technologies they run on, but also some other information like finance, some risk scores associated with that application, and maybe just some basic information, right? One of the big ones would be like, who is the application owner? The reason that's important is we can actually define policies for these applications so that specific users within the system are keeping the data up to date on these applications. So if I go into my tasks here, we can see that I have an open task for a specific object where I would need to fill out information on that object, right? And so if I click on this application and I want to understand maybe some of the related capabilities on this application, I can first see from an overview perspective all of the objects that are related to this application, but it's quite busy, right? So maybe I want to filter this down to just see, maybe some of the strategy elements, the capabilities that this application is realizing, as well as the technologies that it runs on, right? I can also, if I select this application, I can go down and I can kind of explore some of the other views that this application is a part of. Maybe through an app rationalization perspective and some of the transformational views related to that. If I back up for a minute and I go to the application portfolio management view again, on the right hand side, this is where we're looking at app rationalization and transformation, and this is kind of a what we call a coach view in helping you move through the process of rationalizing applications. So we've already kind of covered, capturing what our current application landscape looks like, but the next step in that process would be identifying candidates for rationalization efforts. And we do this through a series of different dashboards to identify who those candidates are. And specifically, I'll click on this one. This is our rationalization dashboard. And what this allows us to do really is understand from a high level what are the applications that we're looking for from a time analysis perspective to tolerate, invest, eliminate, and migrate. And we have some on-the-fly filtering capabilities to filter those down to specific candidates. So maybe I just want to look at applications in my eliminate section. Well, this is where I would want to filter down the business value to 0 to 5 for both business value and technical value. And you can see down here in the time analysis chart, these are the applications that are to be eliminated, or at least are candidates for elimination. I can hover over those and see which applications those are. And if I scroll down further, we can actually see a table view of those applications within the eliminate section. So based on the filterings I chose above, everything else in the dashboard, these visualizations as we call them, have also been filtered down to those fields. Okay, so let me just take a step back here and I will move back to the use case. So let me just go back. And if we take a look at now the technology portfolio management section, this is where we're understanding what technology catalogs we have. We call this a technology reference model, right? And these are organized by categories as well. So here we have a listing of our different technologies, and I can, just like the application landscape, I can click on these technologies and I can explore their relationships, right? So what applications are these? Is this technology, currently supporting, right? And the reason that this is important is because we can also capture information on the technologies to understand, the version currency of these technologies. What technologies are going to become end of life, and that poses a risk to our applications, because if we have applications that are on unsupported technologies, then we could have data breach issues, right? So I can actually click on this unsupported piece of this donut chart to understand, what are all of the technologies that are end of life, and we can start to plan out, how we might rationalize that, right? And we can see down here in this table chart, based on the unsupported technologies listing, we have a list of our applications that are affected by that. If I back up for a minute, I'll just go back to my landing page here. That was covering our technology portfolio side of things. And the last piece of portfolio management is understanding our information architecture, or data architecture. And this is what we call a DRM, or a data reference model. And in this model is kind of the hierarchy of data that we have, right? We have customer data, but what makes up customer data, right? Well, as it relates to account information, we have an account number and an account type, right? So understanding that data structure is important when we talk about, the types of data that we are handling within our organization from an application perspective. And we might want to look at that from a classification side of things, where we're understanding, in this data classification view, what data is sensitive data, or private sensitive data, right? So customer data is a good example of that, and I can even drill down further to understand, right, the amount of data and how it flows within our organization, so that I can handle it correctly as an organization, so that there's not some sort of a data leak, maybe because we're running applications based on sensitive data. All right, so and I can also run some analysis here, right? I can click on this data classification button, and what this is going to do is it's actually going to color code these pieces of data, based on their security domains that they're a part of, right? Or application classification. I can also take a look at a data flow diagram to understand, what applications are communicating with each other based on the data being passed between them, right? And that really covers portfolio management, right? So we've covered business design in a previous video, and understanding, from a business perspective, where we want to take the organization, and what are the goals of our organization when it comes to cost saving, revenue increase, rationalization efforts, right? And portfolio management is really understanding or capturing our current state architectures, application technologies and data. In the next video, we're going to be talking about the execution value stream, where we cover, what are the different scenarios that we can model. We can apply governance around that scenario modeling, and some solution architecture elements as well, to drive change through our organization over time. Thank you so much for your time today, and I'll see you in the next video.